Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the Seals Top 5 on the solo invitation, and I have Mr. Caesar with me.
What is going on, guys? The final 5 videos that you have been waiting for. People have been bugging me on Discord for like 3 days, so we have finally got the top 5 for you guys.
And with that, I'm going to flash to this fanciness. So tell me how you want to do this.
I'll introduce each person, and then we could just jump right into the replay of their solo. Coming in at number 5, this person, like probably the most diligent person that we had enter. They came into Seals pretty much every day. Finally, were able to get a solo, and that solo happened to earn them a 5th spot.
Hold on, man. I got to play this awesome graphic.
By all means. So without further ado, here's Felicity Smoke from Tricon 1.0 and 5th place.
Now, based on my notes, this is from Dead End, I believe. Does that sound accurate to you, Mr. Caesar?
Yeah, this is a Dead End. This is Tarsier from Dead End.
Beautiful pronunciation.
And I would just like to mention that Felicity is not actually a max player. And pretty much, I believe she was the only one who was not a max player. So she's going to group the Zookas up about mid-beach and make that walk, threading through the flamethrowers.
Now, she actually has resource reward statue placed, is that right?
Yeah, her statues are 541, because she's not anywhere near done upgrading, so she's still got a resource reward in one of those statue slots. And we're gonna group up real nice there and get the shocks out real nice, avoid the flamethrowers and the blind spots of the rocket launchers, and drop the battle orders, and boom, there it is.
Yeah. And one of the things that I wanted, that Caesar and I talked about beforehand, is we had some pauses last time throughout the videos, and we wanted to show the videos with the attack in its entirety. So I'll do that. We'll pause a couple times on the way through on the first time, and on the second time we'll just play it straight through. That way you don't have to worry about what the hell we're talking about, because that way you can watch it uninterrupted without the pauses. And hopefully the video will be live and smooth today, because Caesar and I tweaked my computer to no end over the weekend. Bit of an Easter egg there. I noticed some familiar Seals names in the list of attackers, but can you tell us, the Tricon family has come through quite a few times in this list of attacks. Is there anything you can tell us about those task forces?
Yeah, there was a pretty good showing from Tricon. It is entirely possible we could see maybe more of them in this video, or maybe not. But the Tricon family is very active in the Reddit community and on Discord, and they really showed up. In full force here for this contest. Speaking of the Tricon family, really quick, I need to issue a formal apology to Sick from our last video. His solo actually was on Curtain Call, so he sent me a message right away to make sure that was clarified, and I told him I'd issue a formal apology. So sorry, Sick. I had said it was on Choke Point, and I was wrong. It was Curtain Call. So there's your apology, and I hope you will still be my friend.
Now, just to be clear, I got a couple other comments from people saying that I was saying his name right, saying his name wrong. His name, a play on, like I was under the impression it was like Sick Kid, but is it Seek or is it Sick?
Do
you know?
99% sure it's Sick. I think I'm right. So we'll just go with that.
Setting ourselves up for another apology. Nonetheless, so here we go. I'm going to play our number 4 fancy effect, and then you can jump into who we're talking about. So here we go. Number 4. There you go.
Okay, guys. So our next entry is going to be Pseudo-Chris. Pseudo-Chris is actually on the Reddit Cobalt, which is a leaderboard pushing 5-man team. They are currently, I believe, number 8th place right now. It does fluctuate a little bit when you are that high on the leaderboard from day to day, depending on your ops and what time you start them. But, the last time I looked, they were number 8. So they're making the climb really quick. I mean, that's 8th in the world, guys. They're 8th in the world for the 5-man teams. So huge shout out. Huge shout out.
Just to show how ridiculous the leaderboards are up there, they're now down to 13th. So a lot of fluctuation up there for sure.
Exactly. Okay, so here is Sudacris with a really nice hit on the sliding block.
Okay, now Sudacris, I assume, is a play on Ludacris. Is that is that accurate?
You know what? I'm actually not sure of the origin of Chris's name here. He has a couple accounts there, and one is Pseudo Chris, one is Suda Chris with an A, I believe. So we'll have to get more information from him on the origin of that name. But this is a beautiful solo. Go ahead.
It is now, and this I like this. Like, the fact that he uses his GBE to start with on the rocket launcher. I hadn't seen this exact hit before, so this hit impressed me quite a bit. And farming GBE at shore there, just the fact that he used GBE to get rid of one, and you always see Scorchers on this side, and so the fact that he had come out with Hookah impressed me quite a bit. And I'm gonna pause here because this part is my favorite bit. Look at that. Look at the Zookas underneath the rocket launcher. The heavies are out front. The critters are already in the air to remove that other rocket launcher.
Yeah, it was a very impressive, very impressive solo. The way he works the left side and just works through all these rocket launchers and stays in the blind spots and drops the battle orders, and then just continues on once those splash damage defenses are out of the way to, take out the shield generators.
Yeah, and just keeping the heavies out front. This is like it's almost like a PvP attack. The way he's able to get the heavies out front and have them absorb some damage and save him some GBE for sure. And that shock launcher, there was almost no time left. It was about to melt his face.
So he's going to regroup up top here by the gap, and then he's going to go ahead and start his walk over to the right side.
And again, double smoke by core. Always the double smoke by core. Now,
not even worried about all those rocket launchers right in front of the core there.
And yeah, and obviously, like a lot of times you see sliding blocks soloed with Rifle Zuka, but those flamethrowers down below core obviously put a stop to that fairly quickly. And then just boom, like sliding block. There's not a lot of health on the actual core, but he just crushed it.
Yeah, that was. Obviously one of my favorite ones because it was in the top 5, but that one was a really nice solo.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that attack before, so that one is one of my favorites for sure. And obviously I don't have a horse in this race or whatever that expression is, and I also didn't have anything to do with the judging. So that one for me I think that one almost took the cake for me. So I'm excited that there are attacks beyond that one. So well done, Mr. Sudacris. On to number 3. Okay, there we go. Now we've got Nightshade, and I'm gonna have to get you to tell me about Nightshade, because the fact that I don't know his task force means that I know nothing about this person.
Nightshade is a player that I know from Discord. A very good player. He sent me some messages and wanted to enter the contest. So sent a representative from Seals over to Tricon 1.0, which is where he did this solo. This is a really nice solo. It's on Forlorn Hope, I believe.
Tricon family yet again.
And really long walk to the back, lots of smoke. So lots of opportunity for something to go wrong here, which is one of the things that really impressed the judging panel, that he was able to get all the way to the back, and it was a Forlorn Hope base. And Nightshade runs 5/5 for his statues, I believe. So let's just get into it. Let's just get into Nightshade solo.
And this is a long walk for someone with 5/5, so I will give him a nod there for sure. And he does this drop differently than I do this drop, and so I'm going to give him a bonus point there as well. because when I do this drop, I always use the side flare because I'm just too cowardly to use his drop that we're going to see right here, and I love it. Like, then he's already saved at least probably 5 GBE by not using a flare there, because he's going to use you have to use a bunch of flares with the heroes. So I really like this drop, and he's lost zero Zukas at shore by doing that side drop. So I like it.
And he's gonna thread through the defenses on the way up here.
And he does the little diagonal path there.
Yeah, nothing's gonna pop out of the smoke, or he's just gonna get back there pretty clean.
And he saved a smoke for sure by being super, super tight across that pathing.
Yeah, he's gonna pop right up above the boom cannons here.
And I just want to point out for people out there who aren't familiar with this hit, he has dropped an artillery on this boom cannon, the one that's the most forward-sitting boom cannon. And by dropping an artillery on that boom cannon, it makes the Zukas sit really nicely under smoke. And if you don't do that, you will not keep them under smoke. That's something that I learned the hard way by not paying a heck of a lot of attention to what people were doing. So, and then just instantly perfect shocks.
Battle order shocks. I mean, that looked like about three salvos of shots there. I mean, that melted that core pretty quick.
And yeah, I mean, and this is a tough hit for anyone, even for someone with 6'4". So the fact that he pulled it off with 5'5" is really, really impressive. I didn't notice that he was 5'5" before, and that's a long walk for someone with 5'5". Just so very well done by Nightshade. Now, did I forget? I think I forgot to do the no pausing replay on the last one. So I apologize to I think that who was that? That was Pseudocris. I'll do that at the very end, perhaps. But here's Nightshade without any ridiculous pauses. Man.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool land-aid for sure.
Yeah, and that drop takes a lot of practice, so very, very well done. And his smoke spacing is absolutely perfect here, not wasting any space whatsoever. I have a request for you, Caesar, that for your next challenges, if you could get the players to do a screenshot of the base before they send with the videos, I think it would. I can work some extra magic. That would be much appreciated. On my end.
For sure. Yeah, next time we'll make sure that we definitely get, we give them a few more parameters about what we need or what we would actually like in the recordings, and just to help us out a little bit on our end, technical wise.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we're on the first runner-up now, aren't we? So I'll get the graphic, and you get ready to do your magic with the intros, and here comes the fancy graphic for number 2. Okie doke, tell us about Oliver Queen and his $25 winning entry, please.
The first runner-up, which this was a very, very tough decision among the Seals judging panel. There was a lot of discussion back and forth about this entry and the number 1 entry.
I really hope you gave out signs like they hold up in the dunk competition or something along those lines.
So we decided this was a very close second entry. This is actually on Minotaur, and this is just an amazing solo by Oliver Queen from Tricon 1.0. We actually had to pull this off of the All-Star stream, and so forgive us for a little bit of the video situation here as far as that goes.
No, that wasn't intentional foreshadowing earlier when I was asking for screenshots, but this video I'm pretty sure that whoever recorded this may have been drinking, perhaps a little bit. So
it is possible that the host of the All-Star stream in the Reddit community like to indulge in adult beverages from time to time, and during the streams that might be indicative of some of what you see. but they all are very entertaining, and that's why we all tune in, right? So
Of course, of course. Now, but this is just to, now that we switch to the video, this is why I I fight for no face cam, because there are drunk people all over my screen, and so I've covered the drunk people on the left with the number 2 runner-up Seal, and I've covered, I believe it was Messy Mike's fingers typing into the webcam at the bottom right with the top 5 logo, and the obscene chat up the top with my logo. So we're gonna have to raise the bar on the video a little bit in the future, just to make it easy to rebroadcast. But anyways, enough silly little nitpicks. Here we go. Oliver Queen on Minotaur.
Oliver Queen from Deep Cut.
Oh, Deep Cut even.
Yes.
Badass. And he's from Tricon as well?
Yeah, Oliver's in Tricon 1.0.
So that's 3 videos recorded in Tricon 1.0.
Yep. A lot of love for Tricon in the first Seals contest here.
And for those of you who haven't seen this landing, this is called the typewriter landing, and it is awesome. It was shown to me by a player named I Love Soju, and I believe that in the stream they mentioned that he showed them as well. And so the whole point of this landing is it gets you below the mortar level, and so you don't have to spend smoke. And again, here, he walks directly underneath the mortar like a complete boss, dodging the mortars as they shoot. And it saves a whole bunch of GBE by doing that. Whenever you see it for the first time, you're like, they're going right? Why are they going right? But it works extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, definitely that landing was one of the things that brought this to the runner-up spot. And actually, to be honest, made it very, very close to be the first place spot. The difference between 1 and 2, I got to tell you guys, was very, very small.
And now this attack, I think you said that this core had like 1.7 million health on it or something ridiculous like that?
I think it was 1.7, and there's a full rocket launcher garden on the right here, so there's some pretty good shock work that you got to do to make this happen.
For sure, but I'm sure that his eyes lit up when he saw that there was no flamethrowers on the right-hand side of the core. And there being only, and I use only in bunny ears there, 4 shocks here, had to make his eyes just completely light up when he saw this. Now, I had to cut a little bit of this video short because there we go, 756, so I'll do a math on that in a second, tell you the exact, but bam, all 4 shocks nailed like a boss.
Nails the shocks. These shocks they're not difficult, but they are hard, if that doesn't make any sense. But just being able to pull them off consistently and well-timed just does not happen all that terribly often. And the guys in the live stream talked about this in pure drunken fashion for a good 5 minutes, which we had to cut all of it out. But I think it's safe to say that this is difficult unless you're in the 1% of the boomers who can attempt this attack. Yeah, it obviously depends on where you're setting your bar. There's probably quite a few people that would say those shocks are almost impossible, and then there's people on the other end of the spectrum that would say, that base is fairly easy. But I'll tend to agree that this was a fairly more than challenging solo to pull off. I mean, not everybody can just crank this one out at will.
Yeah, and I'll go back and show it again in its entirety. But another thing to remember is that a huge portion of the Boom Beach community wouldn't have enough GBE to get there, and B, wouldn't be able to smoke there. So and even just the landing itself here, he saves probably 2 to 3 smokes, maybe even 4, and the gap smokes and walking underneath the huge mortar lobbing towards your ladies. There's a lot of difficulty here for sure. And it requires a certain amount of nerve. Now, I mean, just the first time you see the ladies walk down below the mortar is just very, very cool. And when I first saw this landing, it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's just right there on the edge of, pretty much, utter destruction of your entire force there.
And the fact that he can walk, the fact that he doesn't smoke when they turn up is speaking about a veteran play. That is someone who he's done this before. This is not his first time.
Yeah, pretty much most people would drop a smoke probably right there, and then probably even more on top of that. As soon as they saw that mortar lobbing towards them, they'd probably throw a shock out there to cover the mortar. So.
Very, very nice hit though. And then those critters in the smoke is definitely just in case. So if he misses one of these shocks, he can save himself a little bit, but obviously he sees that he's nailed them all and life is good. And so when I said that I wasn't going to do any pauses, this is not Caesar or I pausing, for the record. This is the video that we have.
Yeah, that's the video. That's the video itself pausing. So
now, and you notice he didn't get battle orders out right away, so that's like a 1% deduction. Forgot to hit battle orders, and I can't believe he would forget to hit battle orders when he only has to throw critters and hit 4 perfect shocks. How dare he?
Yeah, that's that. But we still, we still got lots of love for Oliver, and this solo was pretty cool.
Yes, I agree. And just to be clear, I'm 100% being sarcastic there. That was like a 99 out of 100 at the very worst. So very well done, Oliver. Now, without further ado, I guess it's time for the number 1 graphic. And I apologize for the number 2 graphic. That too was ugly, but it was the best one that I could find. So that's what you get. Is there anything you want to say before we get to the number 1, Mr. Caesar?
No, let's roll it.
Okay, here we go. And the winner is... Okay, what do you got?
Okay.
Whoa, it's Boo.
The winner. Yeah, the winner of the first ever Seals Solo Invitational for the best solo, which basically encompassed the awesome use of the hero and just an overall pretty much rock star solo. Is Boo from Triangle 9.
Now, just to be...
Now, I would like to just...
Yeah.
I was going to say, there was actually a lot of back and forth about this between number 1 and number 2, whether or not we choose Boo from Triangle 9 or Oliver from Tricon. And I'd really rather not be shunned now from the Discord community, who is primarily, encompassed by Tricon and the Reddit guys, for choosing a member that is outside the community to win the first solo contest. But at the same time, I wanted to hold to the integrity of the contest and pick what I thought was actually the best solo that we had. And this is it. So one of zmot's guys.
And I was not part of the judging.
Yeah. zmot has nothing to do with the judging. But I hope that once you guys see this attack, like the Seals and like myself, you will understand why we chose it. Let's see the number 1 attack.
Here we go. Now, and I assume this is on Forlorn Hope?
Yeah, it is on Forlorn Hope.
Okay, perfect. And Boo is a 6'4" player, as you can probably see there.
Okay, so here we go.
Now, and this landing for those, this is the standard. Now, I like to go above that rocket launcher. He went below. And this I love Chimera. Sorry, I think it's actually Chimera. Is that how you say it over there?
Yeah, I say it Chimera. I've heard it pronounced both different ways, but a lot of people, more of the people, say Chimera.
Yeah, and I'm fairly sure that the word actually is Chimera, which is like a double animal in a zygote or something, some technical scientific terms. So, we'll go with Chimera, because I've been corrected too many times saying Chimera. Your finals, your contest, so I'll leave most of the commentary here to you.
I was just gonna say he quickly takes out those rocket launchers in the bottom left, and then he moves up to the cells and starts working the cells. Brings Everspark along.
And the fact that he's got Everspark is kind of interesting, because you would assume that he would have battle orders for this attack in most instances. Little bit of a spoiler there.
He's going to group up and start the smoke walk kind of a little, kind of a snaky little walk through there past the gap.
And when he did this attack, he wasn't sure if it was going to work or not because he had never done it before, so he left the majority of the cells there for whoever was going to attack after him if he happened to completely botch this.
And here he goes. He's going to get parked up under there under the double smoke. Oh, and wait, what is this?
I think that's the reason why Everspark is there, is my guess. Gets peeked a little bit.
Oh, look at that! See that right? No, see that's ridiculous. Basically, he brings Everspark to remote the shock launcher, and pretty much use the shock launcher as a shield from the universal remote,
and saves the shock in the process.
And I'm pretty much right there with that use of the hero and a Forlorn Hope Chimera. I really challenge anyone to argue with me that that was a pretty ridiculous solo to pick for first place.
And I'll get it playing. I'll get it playing here so you can walk us out. But as soon as I saw that, I told Boo that I'm like, please go talk to Caesar. And he didn't know anything about the contest at that point. And I said, please go talk to Caesar because you need to. Everyone in the task force was like, was excited by it. So that's when you go see Caesar.
I mean, again, Forlorn Hope Chimera with with Everspark, a universal remote on the shock launcher, is that is not something that you see every day. Nor is that something,
sure.
Nor is that something that I've seen anyone else do ever.
Couldn't see it in the frame there, but he threw an artillery on the shock launcher to set this up. So it wasn't just a fluke that Everspark hit the shock launcher there either. As you can see, it's got a little bit of damage on the shock launcher there as a setup by Boo as well. So now, you were going to talk in our previous thing. You were going to talk about upcoming contests. Do you want to do that now? Or
yeah. Will we rewatch the number one first place entry? What we're going to do is we're going to have a bunch of contests coming up in the future, because like I said in the last video, I really want to encourage people to not retire. Don't leave Boom Beach. I want you to keep playing Boom Beach all the time. Sit on there every day, trying to look for optimal entries to my contests. We're going to run 2 contests consecutively coming up. The first one is the best attack on a player base. So that's usually going to pertain to people in the higher VP bracket, but anyone is welcome. If you think you have a really good attack on a player base, if there's lots of ice on the player base, obviously that's going to make more of a challenging attack and rank higher. All of the rules to that are going to be posted in Discord, which is a Boom Beach chat platform. If you don't know what that is, I'm sure there's links all over, in this video and other videos by zmot. And I will have the rules in Discord, exactly what they are in the Discord, up very shortly, if not tonight or tomorrow. And the next contest that we're going to do concurrently to that one is going to be the best hit on an op. It could also be a solo. So for those of you who didn't get a solo into this op, a solo on a base, could be also considered a best hit, of course, because it's a solo. But that's gonna be any hit on an op that we deem is just a ridiculously good hit. Well done to set up the base for the next player. Does a lot of damage, stuff like that. So the exact rules for the best op hit will also be on Discord, and that one, I'm not sure on the start date for that one, but the best player versus player base, that starts right now. So right now that has already started, and I'll get the information up on Discord pretty much right after this video in case anybody wants the exact parameters of the best player versus player hit. And the best player base hit is going to last the entire month of May. So the entire month of May. So you have till the end of this month to get me a video of your best hit on a player base. So you got that.
And if you're not seeing any ice at your level, you can push a lot of VP in a month's time, for sure.
Yeah, which goes again back to lots of playing at Boom Beach, and you know, not retiring. So yeah, if your VP is too low right now, feel free to just play the hell out of Boom Beach and get it up there, so you have some more challenging bases to work with. That's no problem.
I'd like to open it up to the commenters as well. Please throw out what you think was the best attack. Obviously, Caesar's judging is done. I'm just curious to hear what the commenters thought was the best attack. And by all means, attack Caesar's judging by all you want, of course. But
by all means, yeah. I mean, you know, I pretend to know what I'm talking about. So please feel free to, to challenge anything that I have to say.
Just what the internet wants to hear.
You know, a huge shout out to everybody who entered. A huge shout out to, Tricon especially for showing up, and basically a big shout out to the Reddit task forces in general in the Discord community for, basically being all but one of the entries to my contest. And I really probably shouldn't highlight that because the one that won was not that, but that's okay.
No, there were 2 entries. You had one from you had another Waterloo walk from us as well, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I did have another Waterloo solo from
Mike 38.
Yeah, that's right.
But yes, nonetheless, the Reddit community came through in spades for you. And for those of you who aren't on Reddit or aren't on Discord, you need to do it because there's just so much knowledge there. Like, we can't talk about it enough. There's a ton of knowledge there. And so hopefully we can start to highlight some of that knowledge in the coming days and weeks. But that's all I got. Do you have anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Caesar?
Nope. I think we're good to go. Like I said, thanks everybody for participating, and I hope to see you guys, coming up in the next contest that we have out there.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on. Talk to you later.
We're out.
Peace.